Welcome back to A Corporate Time from the Orange County Regional History Center. We've got Scotty and Cat here.
Hold on, I gotta get my blast.
Okay, oh, sorry.
Get my blast. Yeah, it's working today. All right.
How you guys doing?
Good. I should say, technically, Cat is actually from the City Arts.
Downtown Arts District.
Oh, yeah, I know you weren't. Yeah. I know technically you don't work for the History Center, but
we're adopting her today.
Yeah.
So much misinformation just pouring out of our mouth. That's the fast. Okay, I have to point this out. This is an all-time record.
Yeah.
We have never started a show and gone into misinformation that quickly before.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well,
that's the fastest we've ever messed it up.
It's kind of like when you're on stage in Sanford, you just scream out, "Hello, Sanford," even though a lot of people don't even live there.
Yeah. The Weekly's doing it. The Weekly's like, "What's the best Orlando restaurant?" And then they throw all the Sanford restaurants in there.
So in my mind, this is a History Center segment so everybody in here as our guest is from the History Center.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. You're putting them under Scotty's umbrella.
Yeah. You're under the segment umbrella, not necessarily working.
That's okay.
Yeah, this is the way I get it. Sorry, Cat.
That's all right. No problem.
But Cat, thank you for being here. Scotty, always a pleasure.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
So I know that Sally's Night's coming up on June 20th, and that's part of every, is it a third Thursday, correct?
Third Thursday.
Yeah, it happens to be falling on third Thursday, so June 20th. And this is a national thing that's done through the Smithsonian. We're one of 12 Smithsonian-affiliated museums in Florida. I should say only 12. It's a pretty good distinction.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It celebrates Sally Ride and her historic launch into space on June 18th of, I have my notes here. That would be 1983. And she was, for those who don't know, she was the first American woman in space. She was the youngest American to go into space. And she's the only known, the first known person from the LGBT plus community who went into space. So,
that's awesome.
So she's lots to celebrate.
Yeah, definitely.
And you look at, as you look at 1983, like a year after I was born, right? And it doesn't seem like that long ago, but then I talked to my mother-in-law, and she tells me that, like, when she was in her 20s, she couldn't have a credit card without getting her husband to sign off on it. It's a weird thing. You're like, what? That happened to you?
For sure.
And then you look at Sally Ride and what she must have gone through to even get the opportunity to go into space. Is insane how strong that human was.
Yeah, absolutely.
To celebrate
also,
her
astronauts,
incredible.
I've met a couple of astronauts, and they're real, like, logical, like, kind of, I don't want to say like cold, but they're not like me. Well, I'll say that. How about that? That's a nice way of putting it.
These are people like what amazes me is when you see like the older ships and they're like tin cans, and these people were blasting off into space.
Yeah. Well,
it's
you're
crazy.
super brave. Like we had the pleasure one time of talking to Colonel Kittinger.
Yeah.
Before he passed, and just you can hear that these people, there's so much bravery.
You know the story of him, like that drop that he did, and he was actually
duct tape.
The duct tape.
Yeah.
So his hands wouldn't explode.
Yeah. I'm so glad you know that too. Yeah. It is. We tell that story to people about what was he doing? He was duct taping his suit so his hands wouldn't explode. And people are like, what?
His hands were swelling because he was so high that and then what is it? He could have basically pulled the plug, but he wanted to keep going, so he wrapped his suit in duct. I mean, it's nuts.
So our first lady astronaut, right?
American woman.
American woman astronaut. Yeah, I mean that's a huge. I remember how big of a deal this was. I remember being in school. I remember having her picture up. I remember seeing all the different astronauts. I don't know. That's a precious time in my kind of young Floridian life, because my mom was an educator. She was a Volusia County school teacher. And I tag along with her in the summers, and I can remember that there was a buzz, there was an excitement around this.
Yeah.
And then she passed in the Challenger accident, correct?
No.
Oh. That different one.
Yeah,
that's...
okay. I'm sorry. How much misinformation do I have?
I like that. I don't know. Let's find out. Let's keep going.
I'll just keep talking.
You guys go with something that's true, and then you go again with something that's not. Okay.
Let me tell you about history. I'm just going to make it up.
Sally Ride did pass away, but it was cancer that
Gotcha.
did it, unfortunately. But during her lifetime, she
The different C word.
Yeah.
She continued
That's
to
also a challenge.
after that, encourage women in science, and she did a lot of important work beyond her, being an astronaut. So this night kind of celebrates that. It celebrates women in STEM. It celebrates women in space and in science. We'll have lots of fun activities that
I wish
are
my
happening at the
daughter
History
would
Center.
choose that. She's at her STEM camp right now, like for something, I don't know, but I want her to. Okay, we got to get off this whole, like, she wants to be an artist, a baker. I'm like, we're not doing that. Didn't you see what happened to Gideon's cookies? You don't need to get into desserts. It's a mad world of crazy people in there. You go
Desserts are
something
controversial
safer,
now.
like an astronaut. It's way safer.
Yeah.
It's just more straight and narrow. It's easier to control.
And this is a free, obviously, that people can go by and experience it for free.
Yeah, because on third Thursday from
I was so
5
hoping
to
you were
9.
going to say, no, it's a $25 ticket, John.
It's actually VIP starts at £1,000 charity. So it's a dinner.
It's $500 a plate, you idiot. Good day. And then he finally walks out. That's the last time we see Scotty.
I do want you to hit me over the head with the History Center post, and then do the cartoon thing where my head pops through.
And then we'll just have this sound effect. Boom.
I like more of a did.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
we can do that.
So
Sorry,
yeah,
Cat. I apologize.
That's okay.
Right.
Cat has no idea what's
We're
happening.
very stupid.
Poor Cat.
She's fitting right in.
I'm
You
going
guys
to-
don't know Cat.
I'm going to
She's-
jump in and
Please.
Yeah,
tell
absolutely.
you that. So Third Thursday is a program of the Downtown Arts District. We've been doing it about 20 years.
Yeah.
So we've reached out a couple times to the History Center, and they always let people in on that night for free. If you
Yep.
don't go that night, it's going to cost you money. But if you go that night, it's free.
Yep.
And then we've got finally the city gave us some money to expand Third Thursday. So we were able to shut down Magnolia Avenue, which is
nice.
the first. It's taken me like 7 years to get them to let me close
Congratulations.
that street. And so now we've got we've put a stage out there, so we have live music. We got Jordan Foley playing on.
Oh,
the
dude.
Oh,
band.
awesome.
We
We
love
know Jordan Foley.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's our
he's
buddy.
lovely, right?
Yeah, he is so good. His band's so good.
So good. We just got him, but he's
Oh,
still
misinformation.
Really
I got one. Yeah, on the board.
I tried to get
on
them
the
out.
board.
I'll sneak 2 more in.
But
Not if I can help it.
we got like 14 artists going to be in tents painting and selling their stuff out there, and then we've got Red Top Productions doing the market at the History Center.
Awesome.
Right. So, and then we've got some art installations. So one of the things about the money we got was every other month we do what we call vacant to vibrant, and it's taking over a vacant storefront down there and putting an art installation in.
Oh,
So
that's
right
awesome.
now across the street in the old Indian place, Urban Turban, we have an upside down Alice in Wonderland installation, which
Very
is really cool.
Yeah.
And then on this third Thursday,
So hold on, is it upside down Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah, you do fit in here, Cat.
What is
yeah,
that?
Cat fits in here.
well, everything's upside down, so it's just hanging upside down with the chandeliers, and so the ground is up
You gotta
above,
see
the
it.
sky is down there. You got to see it.
That's
Yeah.
on
So,
Pop.
I mean, what is there not to understand? It's upside down Alice in Wonderland, you
Yeah.
idiot.
Imagine if you were just wandering out there,
Yeah.
tweaking out over, and then you're like,
Yeah, I'm just enjoying my drug high, and I walk by, I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah, it's true. It's really cool. So it's all lit up. It stays lit up all the time.
That's cool.
So at night you can see it. So it's up there until
Yeah.
I think 60 days is our timeline on that. And then on in July we'll open another one. But on June 20th, Creative City Project is open an installation. So they're going to be on the corner of Orange and Pine Street, across from the old City Arch. Remember the old City
Yeah,
Arch?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So where that beautiful mural is, they're
The
putting up-
unbelievably real.
Yeah.
mural.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah.
we're getting. It seems like we're having a little art kind of a.
Well, yeah. So the whole idea was the city gave us some money. That city, the DOP, to create more art and make downtown more vibrant. You know, because they're trying to change, get away from that bar scene thing. So we work with the DOP. We work with United Arts. We work with the City of Orlando. So the City of Orlando put up the money. They gave it to City Arts to give to Creative City Project and to us.
Yep.
And we're doing the 2 programs. We're doing the Vacant to Vibrant and expanding the third Thursday. So I tried to make some really bright lights and stuff out there, but it's summertime and I can't make my really cool lights go. But each month we're going to try to do something different to get people to keep coming out.
I love
And
it.
also part of that has been we've been able to expand because of the funding. We were our third Thursday was 5 to 8, and which normally we would close at 5 and free. But now we're 5 to 9, so open a little bit later. But things start as early as 4:30, right?
Yeah. So that was one of the caveats, and then the summertime it's a little rough. So the street closes down at 2. The street thing starts at 4:30. We're open, so we're doing a little happy hour, 4:30 to 6 happy hour, and we've got some bar partners, the Harp and Celt, Stagger Inn and Arena, and they're doing $5 drink specials, so people can get in and get some really cool drinks for $5, and then City Arts is giving away free beer because that's what we do. We're giving away some free beer.
I love it.
People can come down and they can get nice and tipsy. Oh, and Pom Poms is taking over our cafe on third Thursday too. So they're doing a little pop up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have some nice food going on in there, and
Pom Pom's good as hell. I haven't been there in a minute.
Yeah, they're really good. And then, they did a pop up for us because we were a venue for Friends.
For Friends, yeah.
We did the bring your own venue.
Right.
And that was really cool. It worked out really nice. People loved it. So we talked Palm into coming back on third Thursday, and she's going to do a little different stuff.
Well, this is a lot going on. Yeah, a lot to
it's
organize.
A lot going on. It's a lot going on. So, but we're looking. We're trying to help the city. My idea to help the city is get it all nice and vibrant. Let them see that street should be walkable. It should not have any cars on it. It should be a pedestrian street where all of these people you can do the festivals, the restaurants can spill out.
You kind of want that permanently?
Is
that something you want?
I've been after it for years.
Cat,
but now the city's, I think, starting to see the benefit of that, moving the buses back.
I think you should run for mayor. The
think
mayor is like
all right.
planning his exit.
Yeah.
Here,
he is planning his exit, right?
Yeah, well, we were trying to do a whole lot of that stuff for a while, but it's tough, because the city doesn't, and the buses are on it. But this is the first time they're like, okay, let's try it and see how it works. So I think if it goes really well and we make it fun and interactive and people get used to coming down there, we can change the whole scene.
I love it. I was thinking of running for mayor.
I think we should.
I actually have considered it. I actually have considered it. But I have too much sexual indiscretion.
It's the indiscretion.
So much is wild. I'm just
Yeah.
always out there putting.
Apparently, that doesn't stop you
No,
nowadays.
I should have picked something else. I should have picked something else.
Anything goes, I think.
There we go.
Anything goes.
You can't use that as an excuse anymore. I'm sorry.
You mentioned that the city's making you take down the installations in 2 months, so they give you a
certain day. It's not really. It's kind of a 2-month thing.
Now, we've worked with the city back when we did the Orlando City murals when they were announcing MLS.
We had to get some stuff repainted exactly the same way back. Oh my God! It was a headache.
I remember them being very adamant about this stays up for 30 days, no longer than that. And that Earl Funk mural's been up for 10 years.
The Earl Funk, the Swan Boat Gator mural that's been up on the side.
That's still there, right?
Yeah, it's still there.
Over a decade that's been there. And so apparently the rules are real loose.
I think if the property owner was okay with it, Kat and I met when we were managers for the Main Street District, and I had one in Ivanhoe Village.
I remember
but the property owner was like immediately.
Yeah.
I think it was Boy Kong.
Oh, is that the one that? Yeah, the Boy Kong one crushes my heart.
I know.
You literally have one of the most.
Just leave it up?
You have literally one of the most premier artists in our city, Boy Kong, doing this amazing mural. It was incredible. And then it was they did it, and then the next day they're like, take it down.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it's crazy. It's crazy.
Sad. Could I tell you guys a little bit about what's happening for Sally?
Yeah. Tell me.
We got our friends from Orlando Science Center. They're doing a moon sand activity. I'm not really sure what that means, but it sounds really cool. The Astronaut Scholarship Fund folks will be there giving out information. Hernalise Freeze, I hope I'm saying this right, is doing freeze-dried candy, so it's a la, the stuff that
that's very big right now.
Might
Are
eat,
you guys down with a freeze-dried candy?
Yeah, my kids love it.
Yeah.
Can we freeze-dry our own?
You know what I
I don't know.
You know what I figured out?
Question.
They sell this at 7-Eleven now, and it drives me crazy, and I should have thought of it, and I'm too late. It's already gone. But they're just taking regular Skittles and freeze-drying it and then putting it unmarked in a package and saying, these are freeze-dried Skittles. And I'm like, I should have done that. This is what...
Are you allowed to do that?
This is what hobo people have been doing at farmers market for decades. They've been selling their bric-a-brac crap, and I can sell bric-a-brac crap.
If you just leave it in your cabinet for 5 years.
Yeah.
Tastes
I mean,
the
how did
same.
they get around that? And how come Big Skittle isn't coming and crushing them?
But let's see here. We also have you can design your own lunar lander. You can design your own launch patch. This is the big thing that everybody loves though. There's a pop-up planetarium that you can go into that we set up in one of our exhibit halls. And then at 7 p.m., we're going to have a real live astronaut scholar. Her name is Samantha Stoltz. She is a UCF student, and she's going to be doing a presentation. So a little something for a little knowledge and that's going to be at 7 p.m. Did I say that?
Yeah,
You did.
Yeah.
7 p.m.
That's awesome.
Right at 7.
That sounds like fun.
That's the time.
You got there was no misinformation there. That was
was
the right
that's
stuff.
a real
Yeah.
information.
I'm
You see
just-
what I did
I'm
there?
just
That was the
afraid,
right stuff. Do you see what I did there? Right stuff.
Yeah.
Our education team is really busy with summer camp right now, so I couldn't get one of them here. So I wanted to make sure that I got it all right because they'll get me if I don't.
I know, I get you.
No, I figured out a way.
We've got some rave reviews about your camps too from I'm not gonna say the name of the kiddo, but I just know personally some parents that are men effing.
Love to hear it. Love
Yeah,
to hear
yeah.
it. They are doing really well. Appreciate your help in getting the word out there.
Yeah,
about
like
them.
which ones do you like? You have a bunch of different camps there, don't you? Like
Yeah, every week is a different one, a different theme. Some of them also include going places.
wasn't one a
outside of
criminology one or something?
It's forensics. Yeah.
We have a friend whose kid got to be the judge at the camp.
Wait,
Oh, really?
He lost his mind. He thought it was
I
the
wanna
coolest
go to
thing in the
that
world.
camp.
You want to go there?
Yeah, and then they got to make blood slime. Like as the
Oh,
treat,
blood
at
slime.
yeah, they got to make like at the end of the thing. You got to make it like.
That's not
Yeah,
not fair.
I was like, that sounds amazing. That sounds really, really fun.
Kat, you guys always have an art opening.
We do, yeah.
Yeah,
So
Thursdays.
third Thursday goes in line with our changing of the art. So we change the art in City Arts every 30 days, and the opening night reception is always third Thursday.
Okay.
And this coming reception we have, or opening, we have Barbara Chandler, and she's doing a bunch of Caribbean art. So we're also going to get some steel drummers. We're looking at some steel drummers to play alternate of Jordan. And I got some Japanese artists, which their art is really pretty. And I haven't dealt with this guy before, so I'm kind of interested to see what it is. But they're very professional Japanese artists. They'll be upstairs.
Oh, wow.
And then I got a call that we did, which is called Off the Chain, which is all about surrealism. So we got some surrealism art, and then of course Redefine and our young artists.
People are just going to need to call in.
They're just going to need
Friday
to.
Yeah.
the-
It's
the-
a lot of art.
I love off the chain. I use that term all the time.
You do. It's also his fragrance of deodorant he uses. He uses the Old Spice, and they got all the funny names. He uses off the chain Old Spice.
There you go. There you go.
Or do you use naval suppression or Kraken? The Kraken.
So I'm about to straight up butcher history and science, right?
Okay. All right.
But I
Do it.
but I figured out
Do
a
it.
way to merge art
Yeah.
and science
Merge. Let's do
in like that has something to do with Sally's night. So I remember, I think Neil deGrasse Tyson talked about this, but they were having a problem with describing what the Earth looked like from space, because all the astronauts that would see it, like, they were all science and engineers backgrounds, so they didn't have any art background, so like they were very analytical.
Yeah.
And
it looks like Michelangelo's nose. They're like, okay.
no, they were just
I don't know,
they were just explaining that without being
Yeah.
artistic or making it romantic.
It's green and white and blue and it's swirls.
And I think they eventually got they had an artist or a poet go up into space so they could describe it, and that's what it took for the marketing.
Oh, I bet they didn't like that flight. They're like, we got a goddamn poet back here. He's not pulling his weight.
But it goes to show you that you need a combination of both for, I feel like, the full experience of life.
This is you going to bat for sensitivity and me being an emotional person.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is a breakthrough on the show.
Yes, you need both.
He's been villainizing my emotions on this show for the last year. He's been it's driven a wedge into our relationship. We've argued more this year because of you villainizing emotions, and and it's torn our family. It's torn our family apart.
I'm just questioning it in an
You question its
insulting way.
validity.
So, and then
I like how Kat really laughed hard at that. She does fit in here. She really fits in here. I like the negative cut of your jib.
Here's the thing. Easiest thing to do is become a member of the History Center, thehistorycenter.org.
Well, there's arguably almost too much stuff for us to even bumble through today. There's always so much going on there. So you really, if you do become a member, then you get the information first, and then you get it accurately too, because it's normally in an email and not coming out of my mouth.
So, Kat, how can people find out more about the Downtown Arts District?
So, they can go to our website, which is downtownartsdistrict.com. They can go to the Facebook page, and they can go to City Arts. And they can call because I answer the phone and answer all the questions.
There you go.
Awesome.
Now people are just going to want to talk to Kat.
Yeah, I know. They do like you. So I'll give her a call.
They do. Like, how do I get my art in there is the number one question I get.
Sure. Opportunists.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get my art in there because I'm so good.
Well, they come in and they see the art and they're like, oh, I do art. So I get to look a lot of really
it's
good
like
art.
podcasts. I have a podcast.
Yeah.
I think artists and podcasters have a lot in common these days.
Well, yeah, they're
and
starting.
photographers. Remember that for a
yeah.
while? Everyone's like, I'm a photographer. My wife's a photographer. And then you look at her photos and you go, holy smoke.
Well, you take pictures. So we're all photographers.
Oh, he's doing it again. That's when I get the photographer email. So it's like, he was very insensitive on the show today.
And Scotty, anything else besides obviously Sally's Night coming up that you want to talk about? I know that are the camps done now?
No, they're through August.
Okay,
actually.
they go through the whole summer. Okay.
So weekly we have those. So that's keeping the building buzzing. We have our pocket exhibit about the World Cup is still up, and that'll be coming down the end of the month. And then we'll have one that's about historic hotels following that. What? And we're in our final few months of Figurehead. So if there are people who wanted to see that music exhibit, they'll want to come out before that comes down. It'll come down February 2nd.
Okay.
Hit Figurehead and the soccer one together. In fact, we have a couple listeners that do that. They're kind of hand in hand. A little bit.
Yeah.
There, but there's always something fun for you guys to go and check out, guys. Thank you so much as always.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank you for your patience today as we're waiting on a guest and then we didn't get our guest, and I apologize for that.
Again, thehistorycenter.org, and we will see you tomorrow.
Awesome. We're still on YouTube and Twitch.
Thanks, guys.
Done recording. No, that was great.
Thanks, YouTube and Twitch.
They love you guys.
Sorry about the wait this morning and all that.
That's okay.
Not a problem.
Where's that goatee?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, I'll just say it.
That was fun.
No, thanks for doing it, Kat. You were great.
Yeah, I forgot a lot of useless information.
Yeah, well, if you have a lot of
make it
useless
easy.
information,
You probably thought we were going on WMFB kind of stuff.
you fit in perfectly here. Oh, yeah, that's not fun.
But
But we did do that. I mean, we did do straight radio, but it's just not fun.
Irreverent.
Cheers, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Nice seeing you. I'll give you a fist bump because I don't know how dirty this keyboard is. See you, Scotty. Thanks, man. 611. No, I'm going to make this 612 just for the sake of...
Okay.
Because we don't have anything there.
Yeah.
And then if I need to change it later, I'll change it later. See ya. Okay. All right. What do you want to do now?
Let's just start off with Tuesday 1.
Okay.
And then
If it makes you feel any better, we never got a call.
Okay.
It always makes me feel better when we don't get one, because then I'm like, oh, well, we didn't miss anything.
So,
You all right? There is, my allergies are literally out of control. I'm nose bleeding. I'm scratching. I'm taking allergy pills. DeBerry Joe, Scotty, I believe, is cruising with you. Yes. I believe he will be going with us, which is really fun because Scotty's smart. He's got a shit ton of knowledge. He's fun to talk to. He's like Orlando History Gannon. And what I mean by that is he knows a lot about a lot. Yeah, I'm excited about the cruise. 3 months right here, exactly 3 months. There it is. Oh, Clarkson, is that what's happening? I haven't looked into it. That totally makes sense because that's just the way nature works. Oh, this side of my nose will bleed, but real bad. Real bad. I had a nosebleed at a friend's house one time where they thought they were going to have to take me to the doctor. OG shows are all about how much fun the 2020 cruise will be and joking that you may get stuck on the boat with COVID. Oh, no. Okay. You wanted to start Tuesday?
Yeah. Did you tell Twitch what happened?
No.
Yeah, we had,
I didn't say it. Do you want to talk about that?
Well,
it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I think pulling the curtain back is what makes our show different because everybody's got one now. So we're just honest. We tell you what we fuck up.
Yeah.
I can start this one. Is this a 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just Tuesday 1.
Tuesday 1. Here we go. I'll start. In 3, 2. It is a corporate time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom. So we just experienced a scheduling mix-up.
How did I do?
Good.
Better, right? Better?
Yeah. I saw that both of us
well,
were
you saw my eyes, but did you notice my response? I tried to go 180. Well, I really did. I tried to go 180. I was like, I tried to assume this character, and then I'll let you explain what happened. I tried to assume this was the character. Hey, baby, everything's cool. Go with the flow, baby. That's my new character. That's my new character I do.
Yeah.
When these things happen, I have to get into this character. For some reason, I'm envisioning, remember Owen Wilson in Zoolander?
Yeah.
When he was the secondary model?
Yeah.
That's the character. That's what I look like. I have long blonde. I'm like, hey, baby, just get cool. Everything's cool, baby. That's the character, I assume. Okay. Explain what happened.
Well, I'll even give you a backstory about my morning. So I got up.
Oh, this does make it a little worse.
I got up at like 5:45 because my plan was going to be I had to take my boat back to Sanford.
We knew this though. I knew this
because
you had said it yesterday. We had talked about this.
And then also I was like, I think I can take my boat back to Sanford, drop it off, come back home, exercise, then go to the show.
Now I would have said you have room for 2. But not 3.
Yeah.
And this is where you and I differ. Like, you are the guy that when you get in the car, you look at your watch, you're like, I have 15 minutes. I can go to Publix. I can hit up CVS. I can also swing through, get the dry cleaning, and get the car wash, and I'll have 32 seconds to spare.
It's called irrational confidence.
Okay.
And it's benefited me, but also severely hindered my life.
Okay. All right. The benefit hindered.
Yeah. I think more hindered than benefit. But anyway, so I get up early. I get in my truck. I take, early in the morning, there's no traffic.
Why didn't you have in your buddy in town?
Well, Andres?
Yeah, wake him up. Say, hey, I need a riding buddy. Get him
no,
up.
I'm not going to get
Or
anybody
do you
out
cherish
there.
this alone time?
Is
this gambling podcast, or do you sit in silence?
No, silence. Because I was thinking about my interview with Steve-O today and then what I was going to ask him.
All right.
And then also we got other guests. And anyway, so I'm driving up there. I drop the boat off. Everything's good. And so
you probably looked at the schedule, and you saw on the schedule we had Steve-O, famous from Jackass. We have comedian Vince Taylor. We also have very good friend of the show, CMO of the DeWitt Law Firm, Mr. Is that what he is? Chief Marketing Officer, Mr. John Bustecker on the show. So I looked at the calendar too. So far, we're doing the same things, except I'm not going to get my boat.
Now, when I pulled up to Boat Tree, which is also the Cabana Live parking lot.
More dead people everywhere.
No, as soon as I pulled up,
police.
What happened is I lit a fuse with my coffee in the morning.
Oh, you had to poop.
I made my coffee and then I drank it in my truck.
Don't poop in the Cabana Live bathroom. Oh my God.
So I was drinking.
Hold on, I gotta give you this. I'm going to give you a blast for pooping at Cabana Live at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. Cabana Live? Nobody's done that, dude. You're Mr. Breakfast? You're having breakfast at Cabana Live?
I didn't have my morning smoothie. No time for it because when I got up.
That doesn't sound like you. There's always time for you. There's always time for nutrition and workouts.
Also, I wasn't hungry because the night before I gorged myself with mamak.
Oh, mamak. Oh, dude, I will eat everything in mamak.
And I lied. I had 3 high lives.
Dude, have what you want.
Treat
yourself.
Which got me.
Did you get that spicy rice?
Oh,
you get that nasi goreng?
Yeah, I got the
nasi goreng, dude. Spicy nasi goreng. Oh, blow your head off.
The wontons with hot sauce.
Yes.
I got the the steamed what are they called? The
little dim sum buns.
Yeah. I got it all. Yeah, I got
nasi goreng.
The hot tater tots. Then I ordered Tommy some skewers that he didn't eat.
Steak.
Dude,
the steak's the best part.
And then I ate those skewers too.
Dude. Maisie will eat 6 of those skewers.
So
and
anyway,
a whole bowl of soup.
I had and I woke up.
I'm freaking starved right now.
Still burping up a mock at 5:40 in the morning.
You're not gonna eat all day.
And then so the coffee was infused. I was driving, so I was like.
When you add coffee to Asian cooking oils, when I add coffee to Asian cooking oils, it's.
It's like, you know that when in the 80s when you put that little that little animal in the cup of water and expand it overnight into a giant starfish or
I had one. It was like a
seahorse,
like a hand.
Yeah.
Oh look, I grew a big jumbo hand. It's slimy jumbo hand.
That's what the coffee did to the mamak. So anyway, I get to Boat Tree and I was like, So I
half a pound of rice in your belly.
I parked the boat and then I needed to get to the bathrooms at Cabana Live because
you got to call Tank Dell and get the key. Hey, Tank, I need the key to the Cabana Live bathroom.
I'm winching up my boat to get it off my truck.
Because you don't have any strength when you got to poop.
Yeah, I'm plank winching.
Yeah, if you don't, it's funny. Yeah. It's funny, as a man, I was trying to carry in bags from your beach trip and I had to poop, and I couldn't carry the bags because I lose all strength when I have to poop.
So here's an inside tip for the bathroom. There's the bathrooms at Cabana Live are technically also the bathrooms for the members at Boat Tree.
Oh, wait. Oh, wow.
So I have this key card in my wallet so that you scan it and then it opens the bathroom. Now, so I'm planking and cranking my boat off the truck, and then I'm trying to get through the waves.
Oh man!
So I take everything off, and I'm like,
the next deep breath.
I'm like, the next wave is going to go. I bet I'm not going to be able to hold it.
Sometimes they break through the wall.
yeah. And then I'm going to poop my pants in the Cabana Live parking lot.
Which nothing. There have been 2 crazy things that happen in the Cabana Live parking lot. And I wish for yours.
Yeah.
Like, if you poop your pants in the Cabana Live parking lot,
so
I would be so happy.
But by the way, this is like 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I know.
So I jump in my truck.
That's what makes it better, is that it's early morning.
I peel out over to the dirt area where the shootings happen.
That is what old men do when they got to poop, too. They peel out.
I think right where Tank Dell got shot. And then, so I pull up. Now, I felt it coming again. And
you don't know where your card is, do you?
No, it's in my wallet.
Okay.
But I started to think, what if there's a time setting where
you got to stop with the overthinking. Just try it.
No, I am going to try it, but in my mind I'm like, if I go and try
always trying to get in front of the thing. Always trying to get one step ahead of everything. One step ahead of your own diarrhea.
Because if I go and try it and it doesn't work, there's no time.
Then you have to throw the car to the ocean and you have to just go to the bathroom in the street like a dog. You do. You have to throw the car to the ocean. You have to poop in the street like it's Mumbai.
There's a dumpster at the end of the dirt park.
You can't poop in a dumpster. You're an American. You can't do that. And you pay for these streets. You're an American.
There's also there's where the boats, the marina.
No, don't do that to other people's boats.
Like I could jump into the St. Johns River.
It's an emergency. You've earned the right to go right there. You just salute the sky.
There's a marina gator there. That he
Chompy,
probably
Chompy the marina gator.
I'm like, he's gonna chomp my ass. So
there's some guy in a polo crapping on Chompy. He's over in the gator enclosure.
And then the only other car in the parking lot was a Z3 with
Hell
like
yeah, my dad. That goes to my dad.
No, but with like crazy party rap.
A BMW Z3, my dad's favorite automobile of all time.
But it has like a bunch of orbs and like graphics on it. I'm like,
DJ Orb.
I'm like, the owner's
The
here.
DJ's there.
Yeah, I'm like the manager.
Yeah, the DJ's sleeping in the
I
bathroom.
can't-
He fell asleep in the toilet.
I'm
You
like-
can't use the toilet. He's in there sleeping.
I'm like, if the manager sees me pooping in the
Tom,
dirt-
is that you? I gave you your deposit back. I texted you about that, man. I'm sorry about the holdup. They don't know about that. Sorry about the holdup, man.
So anyway,
I was trying to find the funds.
my car, it did luckily open. So I
I
got
bet that
in
felt
there.
good. How good
Oh,
when
it was
that
bad.
when it beeped and turned green?
Yeah.
How good did you feel?
Yeah, no, it was real good. So then I
Is
got,
it clean? It's got to be pretty clean in there.
it was, except there was a pair of, of underwear.
Well, there's always a pair of underwear there.
in the top
Yeah.
of the trash basket.
Yeah, it's like leaving a pineapple
Like-
at the entrance of a dwelling. It means welcome.
There's a pair of underwear, Under Armour underwear.
Yeah, that's
and
just
there's
Hawaiian custom.
that someone just put on the top. Don't you know if you have to leave your underwear in the
You throw
bathroom,
'em away.
like you tuck it in the bottom
Yeah.
and put more
Well, you
paper towels
wrap
on top?
paper towels on your underwear. That way you
Yeah.
can hold them, and then you push them to the very bottom of it.
Because the only one that are supposed to be using those bathrooms are, I believe, like the boat tree marina like members.
And all
as
their
a part
old
of an
men
elite,
that are dropping their boat off.
An elite group. Anyway,
Chat room wanted to know: did you think about using the toilet in your boat?
there's
Don't you
a
have
toilet.
a mini toilet?
No,
Oh,
we
you took
took it
that
out to store more garbage.
We took it out so our kids can hide in there. They,
Yeah, yeah.
they hate the boat.
Yeah, we filled the whole toilet area with
Trash.
Yeah. There's a bunch of
Oh my god.
life jackets in there, and then there's a kneeboard.
Okay, so you get done with that.
Yeah.
Very
So, yeah,
stressful.
sorry, yeah. So then-
very stressful.
So then I'm like, okay. But I was frazzled, right?
you're a little frazzled.
So then I get back in my truck.
I could tell you were a little frazzled when you got here this morning.
Yeah.
Only because like you were walking faster through the lobby. Like you gave me the yo.
Yeah.
I knew you'd give me a yo. You always
Yeah,
give me a yo. But it was a little faster and a little more of like a
Yeah.
a huff.
So then I'm driving down I-4 and the traffic starts. So now I'm stuck in traffic. I'm like, oh God, I'm not gonna make it I'm not gonna be able to get my workout
Now, were
in.
you worried about like you were just worried about your workout?
Yeah, well, because I wanted to accomplish those two
Yeah.
things
No, I know.
before, because then also after today, I'm going to drive from here down to Satellite Beach because Crystal and Andres, they all went to Satellite Beach today. So I'm going to go.
They're always thinking of you.
Yeah. So I'm leaving
Like,
here,
we'll
driving
make
another
it harder for you
an
to
hour and a
get
half
to
to
us.
there because I pick up the kids because she's going to leave. It's a whole
Yeah,
complicated
it's a mess. There's a lot going on.
So I'm driving, and all of a sudden there's a guy in like an FP&L truck or Duke Energy, like he's got the big boom on top or whatever. He has his window rolled down. He's got a construction hat on, and the whole get up, and he's like, "Hey!" So he's trying to get my attention, and I'm like listening to. I actually listen to music.
Hey, the owner of Cabana Live chasing you in his Z3.
He said you pooped in his parking lot.
He said he'll never forgive you.
So he's like, roll down your window. And then as I roll down my window, he's like, hey, your toolbox is about to fall out of the back of your truck.
Toolbox? You don't have a toolbox in your truck.
Yeah, I do because
my
I
God,
have
this guy.
I have a huge trailer toolbox with like extra hubs and lug nuts and bearings and all stuff in case I have an emergency.
Just shaking around loose in the back of
Well,
your...
I left the tailgate down because that's where I kept all the covers, and I put the tailgate down, and
So you could get better gas mileage.
and then I forgot to put it back up.
Okay.
So basically, the toolbox had slid out and was hanging out
oh,
like
God, you're dropping all
halfway.
all these stinky wrenches all over them.
Dude, if that would have fallen out on I-4 first,
Oh, yeah.
it would have annihilated the car behind me because it's got a
And the
bunch
person
of
inside of it, yeah.
Like there are big heavy metal
Things you don't even need.
trailer
Yeah,
hubs
it's
in
just
there.
a shrapnel box.
I mean, the amount of metal tools and they stink.
The chat room said, did he poop in his toolbox? They're so mean to you. They're so mean to you.
So I had to pull over, get out of my
Yeah.
truck.
Did you tell the guy thank you, or were you embarrassed?
No.
Are you embarrassed?
I was
with
like,
it?
what? I was
Or do you do like me? You're like, no, it's not. Like me? I'd be like, no, it's not. You idiot.
No. I was embarrassed because he was a real man.
Yeah.
So he's like, this idiot.
Did you hide your?
Yeah. And so I put that. So I was
Where
completely.
do you pull over to fix it?
I just pulled over on I-4 on the
That's
people,
dangerous.
People
No,
are
you should pull over
zooming
at
by.
an exit, dude.
No, people are zooming. Oh, I pull over. Come by. Yeah. And
Zing,
then,
zing, 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 zing.
So then I get in the car. I get all the way home because I'm not even changed into my work clothes. Like I was like, God. So
what are you wearing? Well, you got a band. You still dressed like Duck Dynasty. You got a Duck Dynasty.
No, I stopped wearing the bandana.
You got a tank top on.
I thought
he now wears these tank tops that muscle guys wear, where it's cut from the top of the shoulder all the way down to the side. Because he doesn't have love handles anymore, and he wears they're deep on the sides.
Yeah. So I didn't even tell you about getting gas too in the morning was a pain in the ass. Anyway, all this happened, and then the worst feeling is you get home and everybody's still asleep. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm creeping around like.
You don't have to creep around. Daddy's home.
No.
Start that blender up. Start up that NutriBullet.
Crystal, she yells at me every day that I'm too loud, that I stomp around the house, in and out of the garage, and I, all the noise I make opening the
when the dentists wake up, it is loud.
No,
it is straight loud.
I have to tiptoe around and be as quiet as possible.
Gotcha.
So anyway, then so lots of stress, and then I was like, all right, well, Steve-O's gonna call in at 11. So I get here, and then I had more, as you experienced, diarrhea.
Well, it wasn't so much diarrhea. There's a lot going on.
So you made a comment about I apologize. You're like, oh my God.
Well, no, there was just like I go with it to go number one, and I'm like, well, somebody's already been here. Somebody's been skipping stones in the pond.
It's been a while. I gorged myself with 3 beers.
There's a lot of mamak in
eating
there.
Clean, so it just wrecked me.
Yeah.
That's what Seth said that happened to him. Like he stopped being able to eat unhealthy once because he's
if I have one tall boy Coors Light now, I just pee right out the butt.
So then, but then it was kind of calmed down. We were
doing our the way we prep here for interviews is I'll be doing some research, you'll be doing some research. We'll shout things or like, hey, did you hear about this? Did you hear about this? And then we go back and forth to try and flesh out like a little plan. And we had some good questions for Steve-O. He's going to be at the Dr. Phillips Center. We are advertising the event.
June 30th, 2 shows, one at 5, one at 8.
Yeah.
So
18 plus. So I mean, just because there's a matinee, it's not for kiddos.
And I'll tell you too, like we've had Steve-O in twice before. We interviewed him for over an hour both times. So we've talked to him for 2+ hours already. So I always want to be cognizant about not asking the same things again.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of, we've experienced a lot of laziness in the media industry where they don't prepare for any interview and they just treat it like, who
I just
cares?
Prepare myself for his buzzwords and the things that he wants to promote.
Well,
I'm just going to kind of let him do his thing.
But why not try to put some brain energy and think about something interesting to talk to him about?
Some different stuff.
Yeah, it's different, not the same old thing. Like we're not talking to him about Jackass. Like he's experienced a second life. You know, it's funny. Like we probably won't end up talking to him, but if we do, I did start thinking about like that out of any celebrity I could think of, right? Steve-O has the widest spectrum of experiences and stories than anyone that's ever lived, celebrity-wise. And because I started thinking about it, if you look and
I think that's why people like him.
And what I mean by widest spectrum is like this person lived a homeless life, like he knows it lived on the street.
Homeless life, clown life, stuntman life.
The Jackass, the Wild Boys, the Jackass
drug
movies.
Addiction,
the drug
addiction.
Yeah, I mean the lowest of the lows. I mean, people thought he was going to die, you know, and then all of a sudden cleaned himself up, reinvented himself, started doing this show. We watched that, like he started the Improvs. And built his tour. Now he's doing it at the Dr. Phillips, and he started his podcast. He interviews.
His podcast is huge.
But also he's continuing to do crazy things. Like he claims he's going to have Post Malone tattoo a penis on his forehead at Bonnaroo this Friday, and that's made the news. So we were joking around about that.
I probably wouldn't do that.
I have a theory about this. It's going to be like a symbol that is technically a penis, but it's kind of disguised as like it's not going to be a straight up. I think it's going to be creatively.
The way you should do it, in my opinion, is you have to go regular cartoon penis.
Yeah.
And then you just immediately get it removed. That's what I would do.
Okay.
Because that's the real way to do it.
You think it's going to be that?
Yeah, I think if you hide it, I don't give you any credit for it. I think if you do it, if you're going to say you're going to do a male body part,
it's got to be the cartoon.
I think, for me,
me to give it
what
accolades. Everybody knows as the penis, the standard cartoon penis.
For me to give it accolades, it has to be that, and then
you're right,
and then you can get it removed. That's fine because it's going to hurt. Either way, it's going to be terrible, and either way, there might be a scar or something. But I think that's the way you got to do it.
So anyway, we were gonna talk to him about that. So we were preparing for that, and then it kind of calmed down. Like we had a good 40 minutes of like nice and calm.
Nice little flow.
So then 10 minutes before Steve-O was supposed to call, we get a knock on the door.
Well, I was in the bathroom pooping.
Yeah,
I'm sitting in there after you pooped, and it stinks, and I'm like,
I heard you screaming in there.
Like,
So we get a knock on the door, and then I'm like, who's this? Now, I do experience the nerves of,
you don't show it.
No, because I thrive in chaos.
Yeah.
So
it is a more natural environment for you, for sure.
Yeah. Because I kind of grew up that way.
So this one got me because I was in the bathroom. I didn't hear anybody knock on the door. So I'm just going to the bathroom, and I'm scroll. I'm scrolling my reels. So I wash my hands. I open the door, and then there's a lady sitting on the couch.
Yeah. So then there's a person, and then I don't recognize this person, and I have no idea who she is or why she's here, right? So then I shake her hand, but now
but I did that too. I went, hello, and I'd be like, and why are you here? Which is insulting. I did not do that.
No,
did you notice? Didn't say a word.
So
I just acted like she was supposed to be there.
So me and Daniel are both doing the same thing, which is acting like everything's normal, and then we're not surprised by our guests, but we are totally surprised.
But I thought that might be throwing you off the fact that I was trying to stay calm, and that's why I messaged you, because I went to my email and I looked through all my email. And
me too. I'm like,
and I'm like, I got nothing.
Yeah, because the first thing I'm like, did I screw this up? Did I schedule?
Oh, I always put it on me first. I always wanted to cry.
Yeah, and so then I'm trying to figure out who this gets in, and we're like, here, enjoy some beverages.
Yeah. And then I start going into full-on chirp mode because
then I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm like, so, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm early.
Now we have to use context clues to figure out who this lady is.
Yeah, I'm like, how early are you? She's like,
I like
10
how
minutes.
hard we make our job. We could have just asked her, and why are you here? But we didn't do that. We're like, it's a great day, isn't it? I'm sorry, I can't remember. You told me your name, right? Kate. I'm like, oh, thank you, Kate.
Yeah. So then I was like, oh, you're how many minutes late? She's like, 10 minutes late. I'm like, okay, she's here for an interview at 11. I know that information. So I start looking through my emails.
But then you did Tracy. A really good move where you're like, it isn't someone, and then she goes, Scotty. And then then I'm like,
Orange
you let her. You let her to that.
And
that was a baller-ass move, the fact that you, like...
So then
I was like, we're going to figure this out.
So then I run outside. It's hot out there, by the way. So it's the goddamn tropical rainforest, so humid. I'm like, oh.
I
do think... I'm calling Tracy.
I don't want anybody to be concerned.
Tracy's
something's going on with the weather. Yeah, I haven't seen Tracy in weeks. And every time she texts me, she's like, I'm lost in a bar.
She's at some huge event. Her husband getting some awards.
Oh, okay.
Like awards banquet.
Well, she was just at the front row of Dave Matthews Band or something.
Yeah. She lives a life.
She's like, I'm licking frogs at Dave Matthews Band.
She lives a better life than all of us.
Killing it, dude.
Anyway, so I'm calling her. She's like, I don't know why. She's looking through. So then I saw Scotty. I'm like, oh. And so anyway, there was a scheduling mishap.
Okay.
Of some sort. But so then we're like, okay, we got Steve-O. I'm like, and then I'm out telling our guests, like, you know Steve-O, right?
That was the most embarrassing part when you tried to explain to her.
And she did know.
She did know.
She did know. And that's what led me to even further think that, like, he's super famous, and also
my mom knew who Steve-O was.
Yeah, like an entire generation knows, and the amount of experience.
My dad probably know. Probably knew who Steve-O was too.
Anyway, Steve-O never called in. So all that
for nothing. But it's just little heart attacks that I have, little scheduling heart attacks.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get better of just rolling with it. Just go with the flow, baby.
It was fine.
It was fine.
Yeah, everything was fine. Which I will say that others probably would have said, wait a minute, I know nothing about this. We have to change. I'm not going to.
Who scheduled this? They're now fired, and I hope you're both happy.
Or say, like, we can't do this. We're not prepared. Like, we could do it.
Yeah, we can do it.
And guess what? It's just as good unprepared as is prepared. Makes no difference. Sometimes better unprepared.
Well, it was fun. We had a good time.
It spikes our adrenaline, which makes us a little bit perform better.
Okay, let me ask you about that because, like, I promise this isn't going to be sad, but like one of the things the doctor told me when my dad, when we knew it was the end, he was talking about how he's just kind of being propped up by adrenaline, and a lot of times I think you and I are just being propped up by adrenaline because it does feel like we run it real adrenaline-y. And then sometimes when I get home, I'm like, I'm dead. I'm like, dead. I just die.
In long recording days, I have so much brain fatigue that it's like I'll talk to Crystal. She's like, are you drunk? And I'm like, no. I'm like, my brain is so fatigued that I'm kind of slurry. I'm like punch drunk.
Well, I'm drunk.
And I'm drunk. I'm drunk off weed. Anyway, so back to the Steve-O thing.
Yes.
Do you think there is another person that has had more of an array, a spectrum? And
Great topic. This is an interesting thing. I have thought about
an
this.
experience
But
or experiences.
But what you're chasing isn't necessary. It's a specific type of person, right? I'll throw another guy in that category. Again, he's well liked. Again, he's lived the life. But Jelly Roll, not as big as Steve-O, but if you take from the beginning of his tale. He has a huge tail.
He does,
and he's young.
Now, lots of people, like celebrities, have the coming up like from nothing to stardom, right? But here's where Steve-O differs: is his entire time from homeless or basically living on the streets to where he is now, he keeps on continuing to collect stories and do things.
He's still kind of going up.
But he's always been on the search to either get footage of himself doing something crazy, or so all these things and all these shows, and he's got an insane library of footage of himself doing crazy stuff. Most of it's never been seen.
Chat room says Eminem. I would say no, because it's too private.
Yeah, and I'm talking about, think about who has as many stories as Steve-O. Like Eminem, for the most part,
Bill Murray.
No, even because he hasn't done enough and hasn't done the spectrum of crazy things. Like, I'm talking. Like,
there is another one. We're just not thinking of it, but I'm trying to find that. I think there is.
Because even if you look at the other Jackass guys or the Dudesons or any other crazy they kind of fizzled out at a certain point, right? And they don't do it as much, even like...
Well, I don't think they reinvented themselves, or maybe they didn't even want to. It may not be that they fizzled out either. It may be just our attention for what they're doing fizzled out.
And they slowed down.
Sure.
And like, I'm sure, I don't think the Dudesons do it professionally anymore, but Steve-O is still doing things and stunts to keep, currently, and has been doing it for 30 years. So and then also, like, even Johnny Knoxville has done a lot of crazy things, and he did start off like obviously poorer.
Well,
but
not like Steve-O.
But Steve-O
Steve-O's always had like a TV show, a podcast, a vehicle.
But he was also on the brink of death because of his addiction and how bad. Remember that Steve-O documentary where he's doing so many whippets, his entire apartment was just filled with whippets. The guy was.
I will say.
Insane. People were saying like he's lost his mind. He's too far gone. Like lots of people thought he was gonna die for sure.
Was it Jimmy Kimmel?
No, it was the Adam Carolla show.
That's the best. That he's never done anything better than that.
He was wasted. Yeah, but
when he's like picked up the table, like the glass table.
And it broke. He's put his foot through it.
Yeah.
And then he started wrestling.
That's the best he's ever.
But think about that experience. Like, who else has wrestled a late night show host? You know what I'm saying? So he's got that.
Well,
and then he's got all the animal stuff.
I think the closest I can come, and you're not accepting it, but I think the closest I can get is Bill Murray. I'm trying to think of somebody. It's got to have somebody that has a lot of access. You think about Steve-O's podcast now. If you look at like the last 20 guests he had, it's the biggest celebrities in the world.
Yeah, he's talked to dozens and dozens, over 100 of huge celebrities. He's traveled the world. Think about how many the stuff he's done with animals, with Chris Pontius and Wild Boys. I
enjoyed that show.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he could claim he's like, I've done stuff with every single type of snake, with sharks, with crocodiles and alligators and jackals and all these animals. I've been to South Africa. All these experiences, all the Jackass movies, all the Jackass shows, all the Steve-O stunt videos.
I guess you could make the same argument for someone like the chat room's trying to. They see what you're saying, but also like someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's not going to run in the same vein as Steve-O. It's not going to be stunts and animals, but he's going to have just as many stories that involve, either princesses or actors or big name directors or celebrities or bodybuilders, or you see what I'm saying?
But he's never had this spectrum. Like, he did start poor. I listened to his book. We both did. And he did start poor.
Well,
but
I
he
think
didn't.
The spectrum, we're talking about the spectrum, that's almost just an opinion.
Yeah, well,
how do you quantify? Like, you'd have to say Arnold Schwarzenegger has 2,641 stories, and Steve-O has 6,600.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Steve-O has more stories than any celebrity.
I think you're only looking at it from the lens of stories about animal rescues, stories about sobriety, stories about stunts, but not. Stories could be. That could be anything.
No, you're right, but I'm just saying the amount of frequency that his career lended itself to these crazy stories.
I think his polarity from going from like poor to almost dead to drug addicted to completely sober to now like
and now he's doing triathlons.
He's kind of crushing it now. If you think about if you got to write down on paper what he's doing now, he bought a 40-acre ranch in Nashville. He's getting married. He's doing triathlons. He's saving animals, and he's rich. I mean, he's dialed it in.
Yeah.
He's killing it. He's healthy.
He's touring. I mean, he's going to be at Dr. Phillips, giant venue, one nicest.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just
I see what you're saying
because it's such a bizarre, unique life that lend itself to.
And he's young.
Well, he's 50.
But 50
50
is
on
not,
Thursday.
I don't think 50 is old.
It's not old. And he's still...
He's done a lot. That was what I thought you were more arguing is that for 50, holy smokes, he's done a lot.
And he's continuing. Like, a lot of the guys, stopped. Like, Knoxville and some of these guys, they basically...
Well, I mean, he and Knoxville were both injured on that last movie and went to the hospital.
Yeah. And
you can't be doing that forever.
Yeah, and like the perspective wise, to have that perspective of being a wild, alcoholic, drug addicted, the wildest man of the late 90s, early 2000s, right?
Yeah,
Steve-O was.
Without a doubt.
I mean, any of the cast of Jackass has, I've seen interviews where they just talk about wild Steve-O stories and how out of his mind he was. So that's what I'm saying. To go from that to where he is now,
yeah, it's impressive.
Triathlon Steve-O, and he now hangs out with the world's healthiest vegan and all these he's into his health and he's doing. I wanted to talk to him about he's experimenting with stem cells and
it is polar opposite.
But,
he's covered a lot of ground.
But they're also still collecting crazy stories. You're gonna get a tattoo of a penis by Post Malone,
right,
and then and so that's where I'm saying that he separates himself from the pack of other people because even Arnold, who's had an insanely
he slowed down
life, but nowadays and even let's say in the past 10 years slowed down a lot
without a doubt.
And Steve-O seems to be working at a pretty good.
We're not going to get our BAM ending, are we?
It'll probably just end up where
everybody wants him to everybody wants definitive proof that he's sober, and everybody wants him to see his kid, and then I think everybody wants to see him succeed in some sort of skating adjacent thing. And I don't know if we're going to get that, guys. I think we are projecting and romanticizing what we think should happen. I don't know if that's not reality.
Yeah, I heard in us preparing for the Steve-O interview, I heard him talking about how Steve-O was talking to a therapist, an alcohol therapist, about and the therapist was saying most all severe alcoholics like you die of alcohol-related problems.
Right. He's the rarity.
Yeah. It's the fact that you stuck with it, where he's you are the outlier, not, most people never get through it.
I agree.
And so that's why I think a lot of people, we all have, optimism that people can change their ways and get into treatment and stop drinking or drugs or get sober.
Yeah.
But that is so we should celebrate anybody who's able to accomplish it because that's the outlier. And I think people forget that. And they see the accomplishments of oh, Steve-O did it, you could do it. And it's man, it is hard. And it's this guy.
Nobody ever says how hard it is. I've never heard one person say that.
Yeah.
I've never heard one addict maybe other than Steve-O say, "Oh yeah, this is really hard."
Yeah, the people that are take it seriously, they know it's it's a daily thing. It's you have to stick. It's as disciplined as working out or anything else in life.
It just becomes your new purpose.
I'm an addict, so this is the stuff I have to do. I have to go to the meetings. I have to do. I have to follow the the rules of how to stay sober, and if you're not diligent and super disciplined with it, then people fall off.
Is this true? Ghost of Manu Bull in our Twitch chat room says Hulk Hogan once tweeted "R.I.P. to Bam," thinking he had died, and Bam retweeted it and said, "I'm still alive, brother." Is that true?
Now, some of the wrestlers, you could like they had crazy experiences, especially in the 80s and 90s. Right?
I was going that direction. I was going to throw Ric Flair in.
Like Ric Flair. Okay, Ric Flair.
Still collecting stories, not good ones. And,
yeah.
And he's on the tear through Tampa or, Gainesville or wherever. But.
Because I agree, Ric Flair does have an insane amount of stories like Steve-O.
Steve-O has more positive stories.
But Ric Flair doesn't have the positive spectrum.
No.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
The spectrum.
There's no contrast
it's like
there.
Steve-O has probably maybe equal amount, probably less than Ric Flair because Ric Flair's older. But Steve-O has the other side of it, the ultra positive side of the health and stuff that Ric Flair never got.
No, I don't think he'll ever have that.
And in his life, with his kids dying and and he's drunk at bars fighting, like it's sad. Steve-O, you're actually happy. You're like, man, this guy is living the life, like he got it together.
Although I will say that nobody is always, and this is the internet. It's like when you see Steve-O go on shows, he will get like some S for being preachy sometimes. That's the only negative I see, and he probably understands that has to be, and that it comes with the territory. There's no way you're going to be truly sober, meaning I am really doing this, and not get an element of that.
Yeah.
Because if I was just
people don't want to hear it.
I'm not going to be loosey goosey with my sobriety. That's not a thing, or I'll die. I can't do that.
Yeah. So it's like you have to.
People
has
reject
to talk
that.
About
Misery loves company. You don't want to be sitting there having a couple beers. You see Steve-O's telling you the truth about what alcohol is, and you don't want to hear it.
No, and also you're just like, well, you took it too far, Steve-O. You got
to be like me. You have 2 Coors Lights, and you have diarrhea in the Command Alive bathroom. Somebody said that somebody threw you in there, and I would argue, yes, you are.
No.
Well, but that's why you appreciate Steve-O. Yeah, you are, dude. I can make an argument that fat Tom to healthy Tom. There's your spectrum. You do enjoy collecting stories. Having diarrhea at 6 o'clock in the Cabana Live parking lot is a story that is in the library.
I didn't even want to talk about that. In fact, this morning I was like, don't talk about this.
You are Cabana.
If Steve-O would have came on the show, I would have never mentioned it.
You're Cabana Live Steve-O. Let's shave your head, Cabana Live Steve-O.
Yeah, no, but here's where we differ. Steve-O is still doing, like, I'm done with the stunts and all that. I'm done with it.
Even if your boys begged you to do it?
If they wanted me to do it, I'll do it for them.
Is there a play that I could get the boys to, not Tommy, he's so on your side. There's no way you can't. That kid is so ride or die. There's no way he's doing anything. I'd never be able to convince him anything. He's ride or die, man. But Max maybe.
He's like, quit yelling at Daddy. He tells Crystal that. He's like, man, you're giving him a hard time for nothing.
I see it too.
He's just trying to live his life over here. I'm like, thank you, Tommy.
I see it too. Like when I got on your boat, I looked at Tommy.
Max is on his mom's side.
Tommy looked at me like you look at me like, oh, it's a crazy little guy. like you've been filling him in. Like he looked at me like he knows what I am. Like I'm like, hold on a second. You've been talking to your dad a little bit, haven't you? That's funny, dude.
All right.
Good times. Great times. We have 3 more minutes to go here. We have to do it. We have to power through.
So I'm curious to speaking of Steve-O, with this penis and the
getting back to Steve-O's penis.
I was gonna be like, don't do it, dude. but it's got to be some. Like, there's no way it's the middle of his forehead, a big cartoon penis.
It's a little dumb, and he didn't need to do it. And it does smack of a little dumb old man to say, I'm going to get a penis tattoo on my face at Bonnaroo. Kind of sounds like what a 50-year-old man would say to get attention.
It's too far. And it's like,
you don't need to,
And I don't even
just go rescue some animals, man. You don't need to do that.
But he's also like, you're already performing at Dr. Phillips 2 nights. Like, that means that you're booking other giant theaters across the old country. You know what I'm saying? But maybe that's all part of it. He said for
Henry
years.
Rollins gave you a tattoo in the back of a Jeep on a bumpy road.
Well,
right?
him and Post Malone have already done the tattoo thing back in like 2022.
Yeah, Post Malone Post got, I forget what he got.
The Ghost Malone, the same thing. The Ghost with the bonaire.
The Ghost with the bonaire.
Yeah. They both tattooed that same thing on each other.
Oh, okay.
So that was already part of it. So anyway, but he's always said he just wants the attention. He's
okay, DeBerry Joe in our chat room, and we can end on this, but I have to be delicate. But this is a question I've thought about for a lot of these stunt guys. Are their BHs and their manhood? Is there a lot of problems down there? Because you start making your most delicate areas punchlines and jokes and stunts, and you could, you can hurt yourself, right?
Well, yeah, he's burned. I mean, I follow him on like Instagram or whatever. He constantly brings up old footage because he's another dude, kind of like Guy Torrey, where he just was meticulous about filming every.
It's almost obsessive.
Yeah, and then categorizing it. So he's got just a huge library of footage of old stuff, and he's been releasing it on social media. And he talks about like the time where he burned his whole body with
Chat
horrible.
Room says Johnny Knoxville's D didn't work for a very long time. Is that true?
Yeah, well, he got injured, and I remember like I think it was like on a motorcycle backflip stunt or whatever. Like it. The peg of the motorcycle like ruptured something. It was
God, stop.
Because as these guys get into their 50s and 60s, for sure they're experiencing aches and pains and
God.
Like, dude, my hand. I don't know what I did, but when I was snowboarding this year, I landed on my thumb and I hurt it. And then I never went to the doctor or anything.
Yeah.
But
you said you broke it, I thought, right?
Well, I was like, it's probably not broken. Maybe a hairline fracture.
That's the one you use to type all your emails. That's your business thumb, dude.
I can't hold a pencil the same way anymore.
Oh my God, you're Bob Dole.
Yeah, so that's why.
Oh my God, you hold the pencil like Bob Dole. Here,
that's why I was.
Put that in your hand, and I want to see you write your name. Write your name, Bob Dole.
So
Oh my God, you're handicapped. You can get a placard.
I have to now hold the pen like this with my thumb out. I can't. I can't hold it like this.
Oh my God, you got to go to the doctor.
My thumb doesn't bend as much anymore, so that's why
you can get a handicap placard for that.
No,
yeah, you can.
So and every morning wakes up, I'm straight out stiff, and then throughout the day I can barely get it down. Anyway, so I imagine it's some sort of arthritis or something. And could you imagine what these guys deal with? Like their bodies are stiff and broken.
I have a big toe that's got arthritis in it, and sometimes it'll get hung.
Yeah,
it'll catch.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like, and it starts like freaking out. And I think it's just arthritis, but it's just hung like it's like having a freak out, like it's not working right, and it'll just like kind of vibrate.
Yeah.
And hurt, and I'll have to grab it and be like, oh. And then that's it.
And
that's not good, right?
I think it's just
that's just life.
Well, yeah. I mean, our lifespans are what our human lifespan is.
Coming in for a landing.
Yeah, so it's like at a certain point, it's it's not getting any better. All right.
Oh, there's people in the chat room that got the big toe like I got.
Yeah,
it makes me feel better. Thank you for sharing. It makes me feel better.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time.
Good segment.
Cool.
All right. That's good. All right.
Turned nothing into something?
Nothing into something. All right, guys. We'll be back after lunch. Where's that go?
That's Tuesday 1 and 2.
Tuesday 1 and 2. We're going to go get some food. And then we'll be back with Vince Taylor and John Bustecker. So we'll see you in a bit.